And this is another one. This is Bill Maher on his show, lashing out specifically at college students who are doing a lot of this protest. So let's listen to Bill Maher. I don't think we'll listen to the whole segment. We'll listen to as much as we want. Let's listen to Bill Maher talk about the issues in this segment here.
So here's the other group. Under 35, Trump leads Biden. Wow. Yeah. You lose the kids. And this is mostly, I think, because of this a wedge issue. I don't know if people really know what a wedge issue is. That means a wedge within the party, something that divides people within the Democratic Party. And for that is the kids love Hamas. And who couldn't?
Yeah. So I'm going to play it again. The kids love Hamas. Now you see Seth. Seth doesn't say much better. It was his name, Seth, the guy who created, is it Family Guy? He's on the panel. He's not that much better, what he says. So I'm gonna rewind it again. And let's listen to Bill Maher.
So here's the other group. Under 35, Trump leads Biden. Wow. Yeah. You lose the kids. And this is mostly, I think, because of this a wedge issue. I don't know if people really know what a wedge issue is. That means a wedge within the party, something that divides people within the Democratic Party. And for that is the kids love Hamas. And who couldn't? Who couldn't resist them? I mean.
Now, just for the sake, because I'm on the kid side, I'm going to say I'm a kid. I'm not a kid, but I'm going to say I'm with them. The kids are on the side of Hamas. Now, do we think Adam Schiff, do we think Seth, I forget his name, is it McFarlane or something? Seth's, whatever his last name is, and Bill Maher, do we think they don't know what's really happening at these protests? I actually think they don't know what's happening at these protests. I think they see what corporate media says is happening at the protests, and then they run with it. I don't think an Adam Schiff is down at a protest. Definitely not a Bill Maher is down at a protest. And Seth in his class, he's not down there at a protest. So they're just going off what, they are being told. So let's listen to more, and then I got a couple of receipts here.
And they behead babies, yeah. Or do they? Oh, this is interesting. Yes. See, now there's something called they say it's a false flag operation. They're calling them, remember 9/11 truthers? These are October 7th deniers.
Yeah.
You've read about this?
Yes, I have.
This is the Washington Post this week. A small but growing group denies the basic facts. Some they say Israel staged this to justify their invasion of Gaza. The hostages, not really, they were kidnapped by Israel. The United States is behind the whole thing. There's a professor who says, this is a professor in New York, don't take what the media says. They try to say you're supporting rapists and people that behead babies, both of which, we know it's not true. No, we know it is true. They purposely filmed it, and we have the footage.
It's very on brand for social media, and it's very on brand for the planet as far as its relationship with the Jews over many centuries. We have this weird stalkerish relationship to the Jewish people.
Yeah.
So all of you who thought this guy was based, he's just another Zionist. And understand, Hollywood plays a very important part in convincing the masses to go along with establishment point of views, establishment ideology. And now I don't know if they do it knowingly. Maybe some do it knowingly. Maybe some just buy into it, or maybe some just say, hey, I believe that this is our government and I'm just going to lend my celebrity to do what I can. But let's listen. And it is McFarlane. MacFarlane. Yeah, that's his name. Seth MacFarlane.
They filmed it, and we have the footage.
It's very on brand for social media, and it's very on brand for the planet as far as its relationship with the Jews over many centuries. We have this weird stalkerish relationship to the Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing. We have like something like 60% of the religious-based hate crimes in this country are committed against Jewish people, which
Right.
are
So the number that he's speaking to, and the numbers that all of these Zionists or Zionist adjacent people speak through to, are numbers given by organizations like the ADL, who considers literally protests on college campus as anti-Semitic. So when you say free Palestine, anti-Semitic. So when they say, oh, this has skyrocketed, that has skyrocketed. Now there is legitimate anti-Semitism going on. But then you have the Zionists who want to use sort of emotion that's tied to an historical event like the Holocaust, which is pretty despicable how they use the Holocaust, Jewish heritage, and some of the atrocities that has happened to Jewish people is pretty despicable. That Zionists use that to shield their Zionism, to make it seem like it's everybody and not specifically Zionists, because there's plenty of Jewish people who is not for this. When we're to go as far as the Orthodox Jews, and then you're talking about Jewish Voices for Peace. So, but let's listen. Adam Schiff chimes in. Of course, he's going to have something terrible. He's going to, they're laying the groundwork for him to be a senator, to fill the Feinstein seat. So, and he just had a debate where he wasn't calling for a ceasefire. Katie Porter, the semi-progressive who's pretty terrible. She's from California. She wouldn't, but I think Karen Bass was the only one in that California debate that would speak to a ceasefire. The other ones would not. But let's listen more.
They're 2% of the population. So what does that tell you? Like there's something else going on there that, and this is just the latest. This is it's why Israel exists.
Well, and I feel this keenly because I'm the subject of a lot of that hate online. And it's so hard to set the record straight and correct all the disinformation out there. For a while, there was a very well circulated meme that my sister had married George Soros's daughter. And I remember when it first came out, calling my brother Dan and saying,
Your sister married George Soros.
Wait, shit, was that not true?
Well,
I have to delete a few tweets.
Please. So I called my brother.
Lame.
I said, Dan, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we have a sister. Why didn't Mom tell us? And she married really well, but the bad news is she's clearly holding out on us. But
it's just so funny how liberals are able to laugh about, because you understand they're laughing about people not supporting a genocide. They're making fun of people who are against a genocide. That's how you know you're living in an imperialist core, when on TV we have gotten so psychopathic with our understanding of reality. On TV, they're making fun of the people who are against a genocide. And that's the punchline. Just astonishing. I'll let him play a little. I'll play a little more of this.
try to correct, that kind of trutherism about October 7th, or, we had that trutherism about 9/11. But it's even worse now because the social media funneling effect that just takes people down that rabbit hole.
Just because it's worth talking about for a second, because we just blew by.
And Adam Schiff, that's the reason why you sent in all those requests to the Twitter files. He looked pretty upset. He's like, yeah, social media. Let's let this guy chime in again.
By it, the fact that you do have people in their 20s, even their 30s, who are gravitating to Donald Trump over this one issue, and it's admittedly a horrific issue to process.
They're not gravitating to Trump on this issue. Where are you getting that from? You're connecting two things that are not connected. You're seeing support for Joe Biden go down, but those people aren't hopping on Donald Trump. And we're going to be going over some numbers. I got the article up to go over their numbers because they're talking about the numbers that Joe Biden has. So for this segment, I'm going to also include the Pew Research poll numbers that just came out, show them at 33%.
Yes, in every way. And I've been reading about it since October 7th because I felt like I was not educated enough. And I'm still reading about it and still feeling like I'm not grasping.
Who are you reading? Because if you're reading the New York Times, Washington Post, New York, the New Yorker, any corporate media outlet that pushes the same military-industrial complex talking points, what does that do? You're less educated. And it sounds like that's what he's reading, considering some of the things that he said.
Every nuance. I would hope that everybody protesting has done the same. But it means that you are giving up on reproductive freedom. You're giving up on climate legislation. You're giving up on everything that supposedly is important to you and putting it all on the line for this one issue. And
Which you're
So let me just say this, and I'm going to run down. These are all issues I agree with. Fuck defund the police. If it's going up against a genocide, fuck defund the police. Defund the police. Fuck minimum wage. If the choice is genocide or minimum wage, fuck some minimum wage. You get what I'm saying? Like, what does this mean? That you're coming up with a bunch of things that our government should not be restricting us from, or we should have, but we should vote for that and not be a one-issue voter on genocide? If you're going to be a one-issue voter on any topic in existence, wouldn't you say it's genocide? And some people might say climate change. To me, how that's not genocide? That's a genocide of the human race. So genocide trumps all of that. Genocide trumps abortion rights. Sorry. Genocide trumps defund the police. But this is the framing that we get from the professional managerial class, that we get from these the bourgeoisie. And are we going to get that stuff? Are we going to get abortion rights if we get Joe Biden in? Are we going to get some of the other things? No. Just a person who says, I want to do these things for you.